on the outside and hydrophobic groups on the
This meeting is
inside.
being recorded.
Okay.
And it has a prosthetic group as
It has a prosthetic. Basically, no. Your first answer was correct. You would say hemoglobin is a quaternary protein because it is made up of more than one polypeptide chain. And if we actually look at the detailed structure of hemoglobin, we can say it is very well justified to be called as a quaternary protein because not only more than one polypeptide, it has actually four polypeptide chains in which two of them are alpha and two are beta. And then, of course, there is more to it as well. It's a special kind of a protein, so it has a non-protein component also, which is the prosthetic group. And it's actually the presence of this prosthetic group that makes hemoglobin a unique protein. The uniqueness is actually the presence of prosthetic group. Why? Because when we think about hemoglobin, the first thing that should pop up in your mind is that it is a protein whose job is to carry oxygen. So to carry oxygen, it needs some unique properties, right? And that uniqueness is the presence of this heme group, which is a non-protein component, which is loaded with iron. So it is the inherent capability of every iron atom that it can join to an oxygen molecule. So there are 4 iron atoms in one hemoglobin molecule. So hence, how many oxygen molecules can one hemoglobin molecule bind to? So what will be your answer, Alia? If there are, I hope you can hear me, if there are 4 prosthetic groups, and in each prosthetic group, which is known as the heme group, there is a single iron atom, right? And I said that one iron atom can bind to one oxygen molecule. So how many oxygen molecules would one hemoglobin molecule bind to? Yes, Alia.
so Miss 4 oxygen molecules.
Of course, 4 oxygen molecules. What you can see over here, sorry. What you can see over here, just a minute. Yes. This structure which you can see, जो आपको नजर आ रहा है, this is one hemoglobin molecule. ठीक है? One hemoglobin molecule is equal to 4 polypeptide chains, 4 prosthetic groups, right? And each prosthetic group's name is a heme group. हम जो उसको hemoglobin कहते हैं ना, तो the heme part is this one, right? And the globin chains are these ones. One globin chain, second globin chain, third one, and fourth one. So 2 alpha globin chains, 2 beta globin chains, 4 heme groups, making it hemoglobin, right? Every heme group contains 1 iron atom, and every iron atom can bind to an oxygen molecule. So in total, 1 hemoglobin molecule can bind to 4 oxygen molecules, or sometimes it is also asked in exams, 8 oxygen atoms. Is that clear?
Yes, Miss, that's clear.
Right? Okay. So what I was just trying to recap, that the reason we call hemoglobin as a quaternary protein is just because that it is made up of more than one polypeptide chain. And then, of course, it has many other things to it. It has, for example, if in this structure, if I show you this structure, can you say that hemoglobin has a secondary structure? Yes?
Yes, Miss, it does have a secondary structure.
Good.
Because it has the alpha helix and the beta pleated sheet.
Beta pleated. Can you say from this diagram that it has a tertiary structure as well?
Yes, Miss, it is coiled, so we can say it has a tertiary.
Yes. The word tertiary means extensively folded and coiled. So it has a tertiary structure as well, right? And another thing is that, yes, it has a primary structure, but it's not visible over here, but it has a primary structure. And of course, it has a quaternary structure, which is visible in this diagram, right? So all 4 levels of organizational structures of proteins are found in hemoglobin. Okay. And again, a better diagram of hemoglobin. This is, I think I've discussed this part with you before as well. So this is a summary of what I was discussing right now. Okay. 1 hemoglobin molecules is equal to 4 heme groups, 4 polypeptide chains, out of which 2 are alpha and 2 are beta. Each non-protein heme group contains 1 iron atom, which can bind to 1 oxygen molecules. So to sum up, we can say 1 hemoglobin molecule can carry 4 oxygen molecules, or 8 oxygen atoms, right? Acha, and then, do I need to repeat this or you know about this? Why do we use the word globular proteins when we discuss tertiary structure? Why?
Because Miss, they're spherical in shape.
They are spherical in shape. What is the literal meaning of the word globular? What do you mean by globular?
Miss, I think it's derived from globe.
Yes, yes. Globule or a globe. So this means any protein which is spherical in shape is globular. The reason why every protein which has a tertiary structure is said to be globular is that tertiary means, tertiary ka matlab kya? Tertiary means extensively folded and coiled. When any protein becomes extensively folded and coiled, it naturally attains a globular shape, right? So this means that if I say, now listen to this part very carefully, Alia, if I say a protein has a globular shape, it means it's understood. बिल्कुल understandable सी बात है कि number one, it is extensively folded and coiled, which also shows that it possesses a tertiary structure, right? And it also shows that it's a functional protein. यानी इस globular word के अंदर बहुत सारी बातें hidden हैं. What are those things which are hidden? Let me just tell you. I'm just highlighting those things. So if I use the word globular, ठीक है? तो आपके दिमाग में ये बात होनी चाहिए कि it is folded into a ball shape. The second thing which should come into your mind automatically is it has to have a tertiary structure, right? Third thing which should come in your mind should be that the non-polar groups will be, hydrophobic groups will be pointing inwards in this protein, shielded from the aqueous environment. The polar hydrophilic R groups will be pointing outwards so that they face the aqueous environment, maintaining the solubility. ठीक है, तो इसका मतलब ये क्या हुआ कि ग्लोबुलर प्रोटीन्स को सॉल्युबल ही होना चाहिए वाटर के अंदर. They are soluble in water, so this is an understood thing. And सिर्फ इस word globular use करने से ना, many points should come into your mind. Another thing, soluble हो गया. Their shape is the key to their function, meaning globular proteins have a functionality. They have a functional role rather than a structural role. This is what is very, very important. Globular proteins have a functional role rather than a structural role. And if you want to quote or you want to give examples of globular proteins, you will say enzymes. Enzymes speed up chemical reactions. So that's a functional role. Antibodies give you protection against diseases. So that's a functional role. Insulin is a hormone. Of course, it's a globular protein which maintains the blood glucose concentration at a set point. A functional role. Hemoglobin is a protein. It's also globular that binds to oxygen, transports oxygen inside your body, and then supplies it to various cells. Again, that's a function. ठीक है? तो सिर्फ इस एक globular word से ना आपको ये सब चीजें आनी चाहिए. Now, what you do is you go to the next page, like in your text copy, you can just write this down, a question, and that is, it can be asked, for example, explain what is meant by a globular protein. You have to explain. So this means you have to give all those reasons or all those points that were mentioned on the previous slide. So let's say this question is of 5 or 6 marks. I can again rephrase this question, okay? I'm rephrasing it. Explain the role of the biological significance of globular proteins. Okay, so note this down, Alia. When you're done, let me know. And then you can simply jot down these points, right? So just the word globular should click your mind that you have to mention all these points. Do you want me to go to the question page?
Yes, Miss. Miss, in the last slide, it's saying that globular proteins have a tertiary structure, Miss. So, do they?
To bring up this point. Okay. Now, let's say that this is one polypeptide chain. One polypeptide chain. Okay. And this is another polypeptide chain. Two separate polypeptide chains. Now, this polypeptide chain, this one is now folding. Okay. So, I am actually folding this polypeptide chain. Have I folded it so that it has adopted a globular shape, a circular shape? Yes.
Yes, Miss.
Yes. So now see, now try to understand that the reason we call any protein as tertiary is its extensive folding and coiling. Okay? Any polypeptide chain, whether it's 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, can coil and extensively fold to assume a globular shape. तो globular प्रोटीन का मतलब है ही है कि वो टर्शरी है ही है, क्योंकि उसको ग्लोबुलर बनने के लिए मतलब उसको ऐसे फोल्ड करने के लिए एक्सटेंसिवली फोल्ड होना था. तो ये एक्सटेंसिव फोल्ड कैसे हो सकता है? Only when we have all those four kinds of bonds: hydrophobic interactions, disulfide bonds, hydrogen bonds, and ionic bonds. Only then it can fold and it can adopt a globular shape. तो इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि every globular protein जिसको आप globular कह रहे हैं ना, it has a tertiary structure. Are you getting this point?
Yes, Miss.
Okay. If we go back, we can also go back and see this slide, because when I was explaining you the tertiary structure, I had shown you this slide. Yes, right? So look, how many polypeptide chains? One polypeptide chain. This is one polypeptide backbone. Remember, एक ही polypeptide chain है. And this polypeptide chain, since it's so long, it must be having different varieties of R groups. ठीक है? It must be having two R groups which can form hydrogen bonds with each other. It might be having two R groups which can form ionic bond, disulfide bridge, hydrophobic interaction. अब इन तमाम bonds की वजह से what will happen? This protein, ये वाली जो protein है जो कि ऐसे थी पहले, it was a straight chain. Now it has become a globule or a sphere. So the very reason that it has attained a globular shape is because of the tertiary structure. And tertiary structure cannot be formed unless and until you have all these four kinds of bonds. ठीक है? अब जब quaternary की बात आएगी ना, quaternary में कोई bond नहीं आता. Quaternary में you just have, for example, let's say I have another protein like this. ठीक है? दूसरी protein है जो इसके बराबर में पड़ी हुई है. One polypeptide chain, another polypeptide chain. And they are also interacting with each other through bonds. So now I will say that yes, this protein has a quaternary structure. Why? Because it has more than one polypeptide chain. ठीक है? समझ आ रही है बात?
Yes, Miss. Understood.
If there is any confusion, you can ask me once again.
And this is clear, Miss.
It's clear? Acha. We were here. For example, जब हम जैसे हम इसको कह रहे हैं हीमोग्लोबिन को कि ये ग्लोबुलर भी है, वो भी है, क्वाटनरी भी है. ग्लोबुलर क्यों है? इसमें इतने सारे आपको ग्लोब्यूल्स नजर आ रहे हैं, स्फीयर्स. सी, folded into a sphere, folded into a sphere, folded into a sphere, folded into a sphere. So for example, I would say one polypeptide chain, second, third and fourth, and each polypeptide chain, हर polypeptide chain जो है ना वो इस तरह से fold हुई है कि it is looking like a sphere, like a ball. But over here we have how many polypeptide chains?
Miss 4.
4. And is each polypeptide chain folded into a sphere?
Yes, miss.
Yes. So can I say that this protein has a tertiary structure?
Yes, miss, it does have a tertiary
Can I
structure.
say it is a globular protein?
Yes.
Can I say it is soluble in water?
Yes, miss, it's soluble.
Yes. Can I say it has a functional role?
Yeah, miss, it has the
Yes,
heme group, so it has a.
exactly. And can I say that this protein has hydrophobic groups pointing outwards? Sorry, hydrophilic groups are groups pointing outwards facing the aqueous environment, and the hydrophobic groups pointing inwards. Can I say that?
Yeah, miss, we can see.
Yes. ठीक है. So this means कि एक बात तय हो गई है कि globular protein, अगर ये नाम लिया जाएगा ना globular protein, so all these things one after the other should come into your mind. And what are those things we just discussed right now? That where were we? Yes, these things should come into your mind. Globular protein folded into a ball shape and all these things. ये सबसे important point इसका ये है कि their shape is the key to their function and they have a functionality. They don't have any structural role. ठीक है? With this comes the concept of now, can there be some proteins in the body which only have a structural role? So yes, there are. So generally, अब हम चाहें तो proteins को पता नहीं किस किस तरह से classify कर सकते हैं. For example, we can classify proteins like this. Now look, I'm making different kinds of classification, right? So how to classify proteins? How to classify proteins? Now I can classify them in two ways. First, I can classify them into globular, and the opposite of globular is fibrous. And there is one more small category which is intermediate, यानी वो थोड़ा सा globular भी है और fibrous भी है, mixture है, ठीक है? I can also classify proteins on the basis of the organizational structure. ठीक है? And with that, I can classify it into primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. Right? अच्छा. Globular and fibrous. Globular आपने कर लिया. Let's do fibrous and intermediate proteins. So fibrous proteins are those that occur in nature, mostly naturally they occur in nature, mostly in the form of fibers. Fibers हैं, ठीक है? Insoluble in water, and they have a structural role in the body. Structural role. The examples of such proteins are, जैसे कि आपके hair और nail में एक protein है जिसका नाम है keratin, right? Similarly, you have a protein inside your tendon which is known as collagen. There is a silk protein जिससे silk बनता है, silkworm बनाता है, वो protein that is known as fibroin, right? So what do you think, Alia, if I ask you, कि fibrous proteins में should fibrous proteins have a primary structure?
Yes, miss, they should.
Should they have a secondary structure?
Yes, miss.
They should have. But should they have a tertiary structure?
Miss, they're having a quaternary structure, so they should also have a tertiary structure.
Not necessarily. यहाँ पे आके थोड़ी सी सिर्फ टर्शरी का मतलब क्या है? एक्सटेंसिवली फोल्डेड एंड कॉइल्ड, ठीक है. When I'm saying that some protein is fibrous, यानी कि वो फाइबर्स के फॉर्म में एग्जिस्ट करी ऐसे लॉन्गिट्यूडनल फाइबर्स, ठीक है. तो क्या फाइबर्स कॉइल हो सकती हैं? They can't, because once I say that they have a tertiary structure, इसका मतलब क्या हुआ कि I mean that they are coiling like this, but they are not coiling. They exist in the form of fibers like these longitudinal fibers. So they can only be alpha helix or beta pleated sheet. समझ आ रही है बात? वो उनके अंदर कोई भी टर्शरी स्ट्रक्चर नहीं होता. हाँ, क्वार्टनरी हो सकता है. You can have quaternary structure in the form of fibers. For example, आपके पास you have one polypeptide chain which is existing in the form of fibers. You can have second polypeptide chain. You can have a third polypeptide chain. ये आपस में एक दूसरे से bonds से hydrogen bond से connected हैं, लेकिन ये coiled नहीं है. ठीक है, अब समझ आ रही है बात? ये proteins can be quaternary, but it's not necessary that every quaternary protein has to be tertiary. Tertiary का मतलब है extensively fold and coiled, extensively folded and coiled. ठीक है. So to sum up, I can say that the fibrous proteins are those which exist in the form of fibers. They are found naturally in the bodies of animals and in our bodies. Example is keratin, which is found in our nails and hair. Collagen, which is found in the connective tissue, in the skin and in the tendons. It keeps your tendons strong. Do you know what the Achilles tendon is?
Achilles heel, right?
Heel tendon, na? ये कितना strong होता है, right? It's so strong because with the help of this tendon, we can actually run and walk, and we can bear, this tendon can actually bear the entire weight of your body, right? So imagine how strong it is. अब अगर किसी प्रोटीन को आपको सिर्फ स्ट्रेंथ देनी है, स्ट्रेंथ, तो उसके लिए उसको जरूरी है कि it should be made up of fibers. It should not curl itself into a ball. अगर कोई प्रोटीन कर्ल कर रही है इनटू अ बॉल, इसका मतलब वो तो कोई फंक्शन कर रही है आपकी बॉडी का. जिस प्रोटीन को आपको स्ट्रक्चर देना है, आपको स्ट्रेंथ देनी है, इट शुड बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ फाइबर्स. सो कोलेजन इज एन एग्जांपल ऑफ अ प्रोटीन व्हिच इज फाइब्रस. It doesn't have a tertiary structure. Of course, it has a primary and a secondary structure. और collagen का एक quaternary structure भी है. और if I'm saying collagen has a quaternary structure, this means what? Complete my sentence, Alia. If I'm saying collagen has a quaternary structure, what does it mean?
It has more than one polypeptide chain.
Very good. It has more than one polypeptide chain. ठीक है? इतनी बात समझ आ रही है?
Yes, miss.
Right? And then there is a third category of protein जो हम इतना नहीं डिटेल से कराते बच्चों को, but we just give them an example. We tell them that there is an intermediate category of proteins जो कि soluble हैं भी नहीं भी हैं. कैसे? There is a protein inside your body. You must have done that in O levels में करवाते हैं या IGCSE में. I'm not sure कि IGCSE में कराते हैं नहीं, but there is a protein known as fibrinogen. ठीक है. अच्छा, when and it's a soluble protein. ठीक है, soluble है, soluble भी है, and it's in the form of fibers also. But what happens that when your tissue is damaged or when you're hurt, ठीक है, आपको कोई चोट लगी है, and when the clotting mechanism is activated, this fibrinogen protein will be, which is soluble, will be changed into fibrin, which is an insoluble protein. So इसका मतलब ये हुआ कि this is a protein that exists in two forms depending upon what's the condition of your body. Normally, this protein is soluble and it is known as fibrinogen. When you're injured, it is by an enzyme activation pathway, it is converted into an insoluble protein which are known as fibrin threads. तो अब ना हम इसको ग्लोबुलर कैटेगरी में फिट कर सकते हैं, neither we can fit it into fibrous category, so we just say that it comes into intermediate category. But इसके बारे में आपको बहुत ज्यादा डिटेल में जाने की जरूरत नहीं है, right? So this much is enough that you remember that collagen is a fibrous protein. It has a primary structure, secondary structure, no tertiary structure, but a quaternary structure, right? So that begins. We've done all this about hemoglobin and now we move on to collagen. ठीक है, collagen में जाने से पहले, these are some of the characteristics of fibrous proteins. So just read this slide very quickly and then I'll move on to the details of collagen. Go through it and tell me अगर आपको कोई चीज ना समझ आ रही हो. On the left hand side, you can see a fibrous protein, collagen. On the right hand side, you can see a globular protein, which is myoglobin. Just like hemoglobin, we have another globular protein in our body, which is known as myoglobin. Achha, now, if you look at collagen, how many polypeptide chains can you see over here? Yes.
Almost 3 polypeptide chains.
3 polypeptide chains. Okay? Achha, 3 polypeptide chains. Can you see that these, like for example, let me just focus onto the green valley chain. So can you see that these polypeptide chains are actually folded? They're folded?
Yes, miss.
Achha. Are they extensively folded to give it a globular structure?
No, miss, it does not have a globular structure.
Very good. Let's move forward. Collagen. These are all the features of collagen. Okay? In fact, instead of doing the description, let's do it on the diagram. Okay. Collagen is a fibrous protein which is made up of more than 1 polypeptide chain. So how many polypeptide chains over here? 3 polypeptide chains. Okay? 3. How many polypeptide chains were found in hemoglobin?
Miss 4.
4. ठीक है, तो इसमें 3 है. ठीक है. अच्छा. And so this means that 3 polypeptide chains make up 1 collagen molecule. Right? 3 polypeptide chains make up 1 collagen molecule. Since it's 3 polypeptide chains, so it's also known as a triple helix, which you can see at the top. आप उसको triple helix भी कह सकते हैं. You can also call it a tropocollagen. ठीक है? अच्छा. Now you tell me, Alia, how many collagen molecules can you see over here?
Miss, it's 1 collagen molecule.
1 collagen molecule. How many collagen molecules can you see over here?
Miss, is this also 1 collagen molecule?
This will be 1 collagen molecule. This will be 1. है ना? क्योंकि अगर आप इसको देखो तो इसमें तो फॉर एग्जांपल ये जो आपको नजर आ रहा है ना इज इक्वल टू दिस. समझ आ रही है? So many collagen.
Why have they shown the links in between the molecules?
Why have they shown the links in between? This is how many collagen molecules in reality interact with each other by means of these covalent bonds. ठीक है? नेचर में अब आप just imagine करो कि imagine your Achilles tendon. ठीक है? This is your leg and this is your feet, your foot, right? Your Achilles tendon is lying somewhere over here. ये आपका tendon है. ठीक है? और tendon is very strong because it's bearing the brunt of the weight of your body. Now this tendon is made up of thousands and thousands of collagen fibers. बहुत सारी collagen fibers हैं. So of course those collagen fibers are made up of millions of collagen molecules. And when they stay together with each other, each collagen molecule is interacting with another collagen molecule by means of these covalent bonds. ठीक? समझ आ रही है बात?
Yes, miss.
I will show you another diagram. It will be more clear over there. Achha, if I just pick up this chain, एक chain मैं उठा लूं, right? If I just pick up this chain, just a minute, just want to keep my phone on silent. Yes. If I just pick up this chain, एक chain मैं उठा लूं कोई सी भी, for example, ये वाली chain मैंने उठा ली, right? Which I am actually highlighting this one. And if I look at the chain, with what is it made up of? So I will see that every chain is made up of many amino acids. ठीक? But every third amino acid is glycine. How? See, glycine, proline, alanine, then again glycine. Then again another amino acid, and then glycine, and so on. The reason why in every polypeptide chain, every third amino acid is glycine is that if you remember when I was teaching you the basic structure of amino acid, I told you that the simplest and the smallest structure of all amino acid is that of glycine. It's very small, it's very compact. So it can fit into this bend or this turn of the polypeptide chain. Okay? So one of the classical features of every polypeptide chain within a collagen molecule is that uska har third amino acid jo hai na wo glycine hota hai. And why glycine? Because it's small in size, it can fit into that bend, and it's very, very compact. Any questions?
This is okay, miss.
No?
Just like-
Acha. Just a minute. Then I will now move to my next page, in which, you know what we will be doing? We will be zooming into the structure of collagen, and we will see कि हम अगर small से big कैसे नजर आता है, and big to small, how is it obvious? And that will make it more understandable. Collagen के structure को समझने के लिए बहुत effort लगानी पड़ती है. So maybe you will find it difficult, but then you will understand. I'm moving to the next page. Abhi tak I can sum up that a single collagen molecule is made up of 3 polypeptide chains. ठीक? अच्छा. Every single polypeptide chain is made up of a chain of amino acids in which every third amino acid is glycine. Why glycine? Because it's small, it's simple, and it's compact, so it can fit into that bend. जहाँ भी bend आ रहा है ना, वहाँ पे glycine आ रहा है. ठीक है? Every polypeptide chain is connected to another polypeptide chain by means of these covalent bonds. ठीक है? अब हम इसमें देखते हैं. Here we are zooming into collagen. ठीक है? We are zooming into collagen. So let's say कि ये आपका Achilles tendon है. If this is your Achilles tendon, ठीक है? And your Achilles tendon is made up of thousands and thousands of strong collagen fibers. मैं अभी molecule नहीं कह रही हूँ, ठीक है? I'm saying fibers. And look, this is the collagen fibers. Now what am I doing? I am just trying to zoom into these collagen fibers so I can see that every collagen fiber is made up of many, many collagen fibrils. Can you see the collagen fibrils? नजर आ रही हैं?
Yes, miss.
ठीक है? Look here. This is your tendon. ये आपका टेंडन हो गया. इसको अगर मैं एक्सटेंड करूं तो ये आपका टेंडन है मसल का. ठीक है? अच्छा, this tendon is made up of many, many collagen fibers. And if I pick up just one collagen fiber, तो उसमें collagen fiber is made up of so many fibril. फिर उस एक fibril के अंदर अगर हम zoom in करते हैं, so that fibril, that single fibril, देखो इसके अंदर हम जा रहे हैं. It's made up of what? Many, many collagen molecules. बहुत सारे collagen molecules, or I can say many, many triple helices, many triple helices. And then if I again zoom into those helices, I would say that those helices are also connected to each other by means of bonds. One polypeptide chain. ठीक है? इसमें से एक पॉलीपेप्टाइड चेन खोल के दिखाइए कि ये कैसी लगती है. राइट? 3 polypeptide chains make up one collagen molecule. Right? What is written in your book? 3 helices wind together to form one collagen molecule. These 3 helices, और आप उनको strands भी कह सकते हैं, they are held together by hydrogen bonds and some covalent bonds. ठीक है? One helix, second helix, third helix. ठीक है? 3 helices make up one collagen molecule. These 3 helices are strongly attracted to each other, held together by means of hydrogen bonds and some covalent bonds. ठीक है? अच्छा, ये तो आपको इन्होंने ये दिखाया ना, वन कोलेजन मॉलिक्यूल. अब क्या हो सकता है? बहुत सारे कोलेजन मॉलिक्यूल्स भी एक दूसरे के साथ पैरेलल रह सकते हैं. ठीक है? So what's written over here? Many. I'm now zooming into this. Try to understand this. Okay. One collagen molecule. Another collagen molecule. And another collagen molecule. right? Acha. Can I say this is a triple helix, Alia? Can I say this thing is a triple helix?
Yes, Miss.
This is also a triple helix. ठीक है, सही है. तो इसमें आप मुझे काउंट करके बताओ. Now I am zooming out. How many triple helices can you see in this diagram? Batao. Count them and tell me.
Miss, 10 triple helix.
10 triple. Acha, are all these triple helix lying exactly parallel to each other, or are they staggered?
Miss, they are parallel, but they aren't in sync, Miss.
Exactly. They are not like this. For example, ये ऐसे नहीं है, है ना? They are not like this. They are in fact like this. Isn't it?
Yes.
So the reason that they are staggered and the reason that they are placed in such manner, एक तो staggered तरीके से placed है, और फिर staggered के अलावा एक दूसरे के साथ they are connected by to each other by means of those covalent bonds, makes collagen a very very strong molecule, very strong. और यही चीज इसमें लिखी हुई है कि many of these triple helices they lie side by side, linked to each other by covalent cross links between side chains of amino acids. Side chain matlab R groups near the ends of the polypeptides. Notice that these crosslinks are out of step with each other, which means they are staggered, and this gives collagen greater strength. So, one polypeptide chain or one helix, triple helix, making one collagen molecule. And within one triple helix, यानी कि ये चेन और ये चेन और ये चेन एक दूसरे के साथ इंटरेक्ट कर रही है, एक दूसरे के साथ जो चिपकी हुई है, is also because of hydrogen bonds and covalent bonds. बहुत सारे ट्रिपल हेलिसेस जो एक दूसरे के साथ इंटरेक्ट कर रहे हैं is because of covalent bonds. ठीक है? And then now we move to what? We are moving from small to big. ये small हो गया, ये उससे big हो गया, उससे big हो गया, and then what's shown over here? This is many collagen fibrils. ये आपको नजर आ रही है. It's an electron micrograph that's showing you many collagen fibrils, and each fibril is made up of many triple helices lying parallel to each other, right? And many such collagen fibrils will make up collagen fibers, and many such collagen fibers will make up a tendon. Yes. Now you repeat what I have said. In fact, मैं यही diagram पे वापस जाती हूँ, and then you repeat what I have said. Let me just rub all this. ठीक है? Yes. Start, please.
So, Miss, this is basically showing the structure of collagen progressively, Miss. So it's from so Miss, this A part, it's showing the helix, which is made up of the primary structure of proteins. It basically has 3 polypeptide chains, which is why it is quaternary. So they are folded, Miss, but then it does not have a globular structure.
Correct.
Because of the fibers, so they do not qualify as quaternary.
Correct.
And then in the third part, we can see that they are parallel, but then they are staggered. Miss. The end of amino acids.
They are parallel, but they are staggered. And then what connects many triple helices with each other?
I miss the bonds.
The covalent cross linkages. You will say the covalent cross linkages connects them to each other. Do these covalent cross linkages, are they found at the ends or in the middle?
At the ends.
At the ends. And are the ends staggered?
Yes, Miss, they're staggered.
And many such triple helices, they will join together to form, what word do you use to form? Fibril?
Yes, Miss, the microfibrils.
And many such fibrils will join together to form?
The collagen molecules.
The collagen fibers.
Fiber.
हाँ, देखो फिर से हम करते हैं. Collagen molecule is equal to, now look what I'm saying. ये सबसे मुश्किल पार्ट होता है बच्चों को समझाना. One collagen molecule is equal to one triple helix. ठीक? Many triple helices can lie side by side, and they are joined to each other by means of covalent cross linkages. Many triple helices make up collagen fibrils, and many collagen fibrils make up collagen fibers, and many collagen fibers make up the tendon. ठीक है? अच्छा. Another thing is that हाँ, the mistake that the students make is, वो पता है क्या कहते हैं? They say कि ये जो helix है ना, ये वाला, they say it's an alpha helix. So it is not an alpha helix. बिल्कुल भी alpha है तो ये helix, but it's not an alpha helix, right? Since the time is ending, I just want to quickly go to this part, ये वाला, so that I don't have to repeat this topic. So see, एग्जाम में बहुत आता है कि क्या डिफरेंस है. ठीक है, सबसे पहले तो of course collagen has a different primary structure, hemoglobin has a different primary structure, right? Collagen has 3 polypeptide chains, hemoglobin has 4 polypeptide chains. In hemoglobin 2 alpha chains, 2 beta chains, तो ये same हो गई है ना, यानी 2 alpha बिल्कुल एक जैसी हैं, 2 beta एक जैसी हैं, right? Over here ये जो 3 polypeptide chains हैं, every polypeptide chain is different from the other polypeptide chain, so all 3 polypeptide chains are not identical. Hemoglobin में एक जो chain है ना, यानी एक alpha chain 141 amino acid long है and beta chain is 146 amino acids long. Whereas in collagen, one chain is 1000 amino acid long. Collagen में every third amino acid is glycine. Hemoglobin में every third amino acid is not glycine. Collagen has large number of repeating amino acid sequences, लेकिन hemoglobin में ज़्यादा variety है amino acid sequence की. इसमें बड़ी repetition हो रही है, इसमें repetition नहीं हो रही है. अच्छा, collagen does not have a prosthetic group. Hemoglobin has a prosthetic group. Collagen is fibrous. Hemoglobin is globular. Collagen does not have a tertiary structure. Hemoglobin has a complex folding tertiary structure. In collagen, the polypeptide chains are held together by hydrogen bonds. In hemoglobin, ये मैंने आपको नहीं बताया था, but I'm sharing this point right now, that the polypeptide chains, the alpha chains and beta chains, they are held together by van der Waals forces. I'm not going to go into the details of van der Waals forces. आप इसको सिर्फ remember कर लो. अच्छा, it's forces, sorry, not forced, forces. Collagen molecules, individual collagen molecules are cross-linked by covalent bonds to form fibrils. There is no cross-linking between hemoglobin molecules. जी, समझ आ रहा है ये? बहुत ज़्यादा information overload तो नहीं हो गया?
It's
हो गया?
understandable, miss.
अच्छा,
Yeah, miss. It will take some time to get it, but it's okay.
हाँ, ठीक. Okay, so we end over here. Just stay in the class, beta. I just want to